So here's an update on the Calypso planting. This is its second leaf this year. So what we did for these plants was we pruned all the twiggy growth. We tried to take off all of the blossoms. We did miss some, so we might just come again and remove them again. Tried to remove any excessive branching, just to make sure the plants are, in the future when we machine pick these plants, that the bases are as narrow as possible. You can see here we missed some flowers, so we'll just come, because when we did this they weren't fully blooming and you'd be wasting a lot of time trying to play hide and seek with these flowers. So, we try our best and just move forward, but yeah, so these plants are doing pretty good. There are some areas that are weaker, and even some plants in between that seem weak, but I just think they might be late to emerge from dormancy. But all in all, there's very little disease pressure this year, so things are looking pretty good. As you can see, we did miss quite a few flowers. Yeah. So we have the double drip lines. This one's just on the ground. I guess when we have time, we'll hang this one up too. And we have these two trellis wires here. These are also loose. We probably should tighten them when we get the chance. But so the goal is to have the plants growing in between these two wires that are about, I would say, 4 or 5 inches apart. Just so when these plants get older, their bases are also just 4 to 5 inches wide, which would prevent a lot of loss from the machine harvester. Over there in the distance we have the Calypso that we planted last year, so it'll be its first leaf. The plants don't look like much right now, just because we pruned more than 50%, I would say, off. But in the next month or so, that'll change very quickly. It already is, but when you have shoots like these are probably gonna get at least 2 feet tall. So what I was doing here was, I rototilled the rows once in between. There was some erosion and high and low spots that I wanted to get rid of. And then what I did afterwards is I used this little V-plow middle buster thing that we made. It's actually a hiller, like a bed former, but we've removed the wings. We're only using the front tip of it. So I ran that twice. There's some rocks here that I dug up, but this does a pretty good job of making a furrow in between, just so in the winter time when it's raining, or in the fall or spring, the water sort of collects in the middle away from the roots, and then also the place where the tractor tires will be going is better drained, and so there's less chance of making a mess. So here we haven't done anything yet, no pruning, no blossoms, no stripping of the blossoms or anything, just because 1, we didn't have time, and then 2, these were a bit late to bloom. So what we're going to do here is we're probably just going to strip off the blossoms and then leave one I would say 2 or 3 healthy shoots, even one if it comes to that. But yeah, so here in the next few days we'll come and do that. But these plants are doing really well compared to last year. The other plants that I just showed, I would say maybe 1 or 2 plants. Actually, I would say 0 plants died altogether. There is some blighting here and there, but you know, every single plant survived, and they're all, you know, for the most part very healthy. So these are gonna, I would say they'll, you know, catch up to that older planting very quickly, if not do better than them. But then this soil is also better too, so yeah, so that's expected really. And then there's quite a few weeds popping up too. So what we did here was last year we just put like not a lot of sawdust compared to the other side, very little sawdust just in the center here around the plants. You can see there's no weeds in the middle there, but then once you go to the side where the soil is exposed, there's quite a few weeds, but it'll be really easy to burn that down without really putting the plants in harm's way. Here's another view of all that all those weeds, and then the furrow here. So when the tractor tires go over here, it's gonna pack this soil up quite a bit, so the furrow will become less pronounced. And honestly, over time, you know, you'll barely even notice it as, you know, more and more soil falls down, and then the soil on the sides gets compacted and things like that. But yeah, it's looking good so far. I would honestly wager that these plants will catch up to those other 2-year-old plants this year, from what I see right now. But who knows? Maybe the older plants in a month or two, they might ramp up more quickly than these ones here. Probably they will, from my experience. You can see here, the furrows I made over there, I made the same ones here last year, and you can barely notice them anymore. I do have an issue with the sawdust sort of falling down the rows, falling down the berm like that. That might be an issue in the future. Maybe because my rows were too pointy. You can see that right there. But this side's fine, so, you know, I'm not sure. There's this one plant that looks like it has a virus. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's not a virus. Maybe it's just some sort of blight or something, but yeah, it looks good. It looks like it'll be a good year for these plants.